Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're opening up the source materials on, well, a really fascinating name in tech. A company right on the edge of physics and engineering, D-Wave Quantum.
Definitely one that gets a lot of attention. High potential, high risk.
Exactly. And our main question today is pretty straightforward. Is D-Wave Quantum a good buy right now? It's this tricky balance, isn't it? Huge future promise versus some pretty serious financial realities today. We've looked at the reports, the charts, the buzz.
Synthesized it all.
We have. And for all of you listening, thanks for tuning in. We try to structure this to cut through the noise. So if you find this helpful, please hit subscribe, like the discussion, leave a comment.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you think.
And hey, if there's a specific company you want us to look into next time, drop it in the comments below.
Absolutely. So our goal today is really to dissect the current investment case for D-Wave Quantum. It's about weighing, the fundamental financial health, which has challenges, against the technical momentum we're seeing, their unique spot in the quantum world, and crucially, what's coming up soon. Those near-term catalysts.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with the fundamentals. Because when you first look at the numbers, well, it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? They have this really strong, almost sci-fi tech presence, but the financials, they tell a different story. Where do we even begin with that?
Right. Well, we begin with a company that's definitely still in what you call a pre-revenue scale phase. So their fiscal year 2024 revenue was $8.83 million.
Okay, $8.8 million.
Yeah, and that was only up about 0.79% from the year before. It's a tiny increase. It suggests, commercialization is starting, but it's nowhere near critical mass yet.
So starting to bubble up.
Exactly. The big issue, and it is a big one, is the spending. Their profit margins are, well, deeply negative. The net loss in the trailing 12 months, it hit negative $281.54 million.
Whoa. Okay. Negative $281 million.
And here's the kicker for investors. Those losses are actually expanding. They grew by almost 74% year over year. That's because they're pouring money really aggressively into R&D and growth.
Let's pause on that. Less than $9 million coming in, nearly $300 million going out as a loss. What exactly are they spending it on? And is that massive spend actually building something durable, some kind of advantage, or is it just burning runway fast?
That's the absolute core question for anyone looking at this stock. The money is mostly going two places. R&D, obviously, to try and stay ahead technologically, and then scaling up the infrastructure for their unique platform.
Okay.
And because they aren't generating profits from operations, they're burning through cash incredibly quickly. We're talking over $143 million burned in 2024.
$143 million cash burn.
Yeah. Which means, simply put, no free cash flow. So until they hit some kind of significant commercial scale, they have to keep raising capital or find strategic investors. That's just the reality.
Which brings in dilution risk, right? Every time they issue more shares.
Exactly. Major risk factor. Dilution for existing shareholders every time they need cash. It's a constant pressure.
Okay, so that's a serious, almost existential risk if funding gets tight. But despite these huge losses, investors are clearly drawn to D-Wave Quantum. There's excitement. It must be their competitive position. What makes their tech stand out in this crowded quantum race?
This is where the narrative really shifts. You're right. They have a very specific first mover advantage in a niche called quantum annealing. That's their unique selling proposition, their moat.
Quantum annealing, okay.
Yeah. So maybe simplifying it a bit for listeners who aren't quantum physicists. Most of the big names, your IBMs, your Googles, they're focused on what's called the gate model quantum computer. That's the sort of long-term dream of a universal do-anything quantum machine.
The ultimate goal.
Right. But D-Wave's annealing systems, they're different. They are purpose-built for optimization problems. Think complex logistics, financial modeling, finding the best way to manufacture something, specific, complex, real-world problems. And the key is they can tackle some of these now.
Ah, okay. So gate model is the potential supercomputer of tomorrow. But annealing is like a specialized supercalculator delivering useful answers today for certain problems.
That's a great way to put it, exactly. And D-Wave is basically the only commercial provider doing this annealing at enterprise scale right now. That's mainly through their Advantage system and their cloud platform, Leap.
So they have the hardware niche?
They do. And importantly, their moat isn't just hardware, it's also the software. They call it the Ocean Suite. This is a whole portfolio of their own quantum algorithms that lets customers actually use the hardware without needing, a team of quantum physicists on staff.
Makes it accessible.
Right. And the bet is, as more companies realize they can get immediate value from this kind of optimization, especially in areas like logistics, finance, that's when we could finally see that revenue number climb well past the $8 million mark, hopefully accelerate significantly.
Got it. That distinction, immediate optimization versus that long-term universal goal, that's crucial. So the fundamentals show a company spending massively for a very specific first-mover advantage. But then you look at the stock chart, and it seems like the market is already placing some huge bets on that future success. You mentioned volatility. Let's pivot to the technicals.
Yeah, volatility is putting mildly. I mean, look at the 52-week range. The low was 0.98 cents.
Right.
The high was $46.75.
Wow. That's an incredible range.
It's massive. This is not a stock for the faint of heart. And the beta confirms it. It's sitting at 1.48.
Okay, explain beta for listeners again. 1.48 means?
It means the stock is significantly more volatile than the overall market. So if the S&P 500 index moves, say 1%, D-Wave Quantum is statistically likely to move about 1.5% or even more in either direction, up or down.
Okay.
It just screams that this is really only suitable for growth investors who have a very high tolerance for risk for those big swings.
Understood. But despite that inherent risk, you said the current momentum is strong. What's the chart telling us right now?
Right now, technically speaking, the trend of the last 3 months is definitely bullish. You can see a clear pattern forming higher lows, higher highs. That's classic positive momentum.
Okay.
And, importantly, the stock is currently trading well above both its 50-day and its 200-day simple moving averages. Those are key indicators that traders watch, and being above both usually signals strong underlying demand, both institutional and retail.
So buyers are stepping in. What are the key price levels traders should be watching then to see if this bullish trend holds up or runs into trouble?
Okay, so if the positive news keeps coming, the technicals suggest there's room to run higher. We'd be looking at resistance, where selling pressure might increase, up near that $45 to $48 zone. That's where it peaked before.
Okay, $45 to $48 resistance.
Yeah. And on the downside, if things turn sour, the key support level where we'd expect buyers to try and defend the price looks to be around $25 to $27. That's the zone to watch if it pulls back.
Right. This brings up a really interesting point. You've got the strong bullish momentum on the chart, and you mentioned analysts are generally positive. But how does the analyst sentiment, specifically their price targets, actually line up with where the stock is trading today?
Yes. The analyst community, they definitely show conviction. You have 11 out of 13 analysts covering D-Wave Quantum who rate it a buy. That gives you a consensus of moderate buy. So clearly they believe in the tech. They believe in the long-term potential of annealing.
Sounds pretty bullish.
It does. But, and this is the paradox that really defines the current situation, the actual 12-month price targets from those same analysts, they range only from about $20.50 to maybe $27.24.
Wait, hold on. $20.50 to $27.24. But the stock is trading, what did we say, around $32.
Exactly. As of October 22nd, 2025, it's around $32.19.
Yeah. So the analysts who are bullish on the company think the price should actually be maybe 20%, 30% lower than where it is right now. How does that work? What explains that gap? Is it just retail mania, or are the big institutions pricing in something the analysts aren't formally putting in their models yet?
It's probably a bit of both. You know, you see high trading volume, you see the analyst coverage that tells you institutions are definitely involved. Sophisticated money is playing here.
Right.
So either they're making a huge bet on some kind of near-term game-changing catalyst that the analysts are being too conservative about in their valuations, or frankly, they're just caught up in the sector hype, the FOMO, the fear of missing out on the next big thing in quantum.
Could be.
The market is essentially acting as if future success is already guaranteed. It's priced for perfection, almost.
Which makes those near-term catalysts incredibly important. If the price is already this high, the news better deliver, right? So what are the key upcoming milestones? What could realistically move the needle from here in the short term?
Okay, the biggest confirmed catalyst coming up is their Q3 2025 earnings report. That's scheduled for November 13th, 2025.
November 13th, okay.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's the first real chance for the company to show progress on customer growth. Are they landing those big enterprise names? And maybe, just maybe, show some kind of progress on managing those costs we talked about. Expect major volatility around that date.
Makes sense. What else besides earnings?
Well, keep an eye out for operational updates. D-Wave often announces new features or platform improvements for Advantage or Leap. Or critically, any announcements about significant new customer wins, especially in those key areas like logistics or finance. Any of those could easily spark a move in the stock price before or after earnings.
Right. But beyond the official news, you mentioned the market might be pricing in more, that speculative buzz. What are the big, unconfirmed rumors swirling around that could be fueling this momentum, maybe justifying that price premium over analyst targets?
Yeah, the rumor mill is definitely active. Two main themes keep popping up in market chatter. First, there's persistent talk about potential partnerships with major cloud hyperscalers. The big cloud providers.
Like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure.
Exactly. If D-Wave could confirm a deal to have their annealing systems offered through one of those platforms, that would be massive validation for their commercial model.
Yeah.
Instant credibility boost.
Huge. What's the second theme?
The second is speculation about large government contracts. Could be for research, could be for defense applications. A big government deal would mean significant non-dilutive funding cash without issuing more stock plus stability.
Also huge.
And then there's a perennial speculation, maybe the most explosive, that a larger tech company might just decide to buy D-Wave Quantum outright, acquire them to get that leading edge in annealing quickly. Confirmation of any of these would likely send the stock soaring.
Okay, so potential catalysts are very high impact, but also highly speculative at this point. Which brings us back full circle to the risks, especially with the stock already trading well above those analyst targets. Let's revisit the main dangers here. What could derail this whole story quickly?
The company-specific risks haven't gone away. We talked about the losses, the cash burn.
Yeah.
That translates directly into dilution risk. If they can't secure funding on good terms, they'll just keep having to issue more and more stock, eroding value for current shareholders long before they might reach profitability. That's number one.
Still the biggest shadow.
Absolutely. Then there's execution risk. Can they actually deliver sustained commercial breakthroughs? Can they convert pilot projects with big companies into large multi-year deals? If the annealing tech turns out to be less useful than hoped, or if they just can't close those big sales, revenue growth will stall and the story falls apart.
And the competition isn't standing still either, right? What about sector risk?
Exactly. The whole quantum computing space is incredibly speculative, incredibly competitive. A major breakthrough from Arrival, especially one working on that gate model, could shift the landscape overnight. D-Wave is always vulnerable to someone else getting to that universal quantum goal faster than expected.
Right.
And remember that high beta, as a high-growth, high-risk stock, it's super sensitive to broader market fears and economic slowdown, rising interest rates. Any macro shock could hit D-Wave harder than the overall market.
Okay. So putting it all together, it's this intense mix, unique tech leadership, strong current momentum, but weighed down by serious financial risks and a price that already seems to bake in a lot of optimism. Our overall take, balancing all that.
We rate the investment thesis as bullish, but with significant caveats. Let's call it an 8 out of 10 on the bullish scale.
An A10 bullish.
Yeah. It's really a classic high-risk, potentially high-reward scenario. You're betting on the massive disruptive potential of quantum computing and D-Wave's specific edge in annealing.
And who is this stock best suited for right now? What kind of investor horizon?
It really appeals to two different groups, I think. Short term, it's definitely attractive for traders who thrive on volatility, looking to play those upcoming catalysts like the November earnings or potential rumor confirmations.
The catalyst traders.
Right. And then, long term, it's for the patient investor, someone willing to look past the current losses, maybe hold for 5, 10 years, betting that D-Wave will eventually achieve sector dominance in their niche and find a clear path to profitability.
Two very different bets there.
Very different. And that leads to a final thought, maybe something for listeners to really chew on.
Okay, let's hear it.
Given that D-Wave Quantum is already trading significantly above the average analyst 12-month price target, the key question driving today's price isn't really about the confirmed fundamentals or even the confirmed earnings date. It's this. Are investors today betting almost entirely on those high-impact but still unconfirmed rumors? The cloud partnerships, the government contracts, the acquisition talk. And if those rumors don't become reality in the next month or two, how sharp could the pullback be?
That's the gamble right now, isn't it? You're buying the speculation premium. Food for thought indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this analysis of D-Wave Quantum.
My pleasure.
And remember, everyone, this is just our breakdown of the sources and the situation as we see it. It is definitely not personal financial advice. Always do your own homework. You know the drill. Check those SEC filings, understand the risks fully before making any investment decisions. We'll see you next time on Investing Talk Podcast.